Now, in news stories, US-China trade war has escalated again. In the latest, US President Donald Trump announced new tariffs on Chinese imports. Trump took to Twitter to make these announcements. The tweets are now on your screen. Trump announced a 5% increase of tariff on Chinese imports. This is additional to the previous tariffs that Trump had slapped on Chinese goods. The US president also accused China of taking advantage of the United States. He tweeted, and I quote, "Our country has been long losing hundreds of billions of dollars a year to China with no end in sight. Sadly, past administrations have allowed China to get so far ahead of fair and balanced trade that it has become a great burden to the American taxpayer. As president, I can no longer allow this to happen." Quote ends. Now, Trump's move comes as a response to China's plan to impose duties on $75 billion worth of US goods. China plans to increase duties between 5% and 10% on more than 5,000 US products. This also includes agricultural goods, aircraft and crude oil. China also wants to reimpose 25% duty on US car imports. This plan was unveiled just hours before Trump's announcement. However, what Trump failed to acknowledge was the fact that latest Chinese move was a retaliation to an announcement made by Trump in the beginning of this month. On the 1st of August, Trump had announced 10% tariff on $300 billion in Chinese products. Now, this escalation in trade war took a toll on global stock markets. The Dow Jones Industrial Average lost over 620 points. London's FTSE lost 100 points. The US-China tariff war also hit Germany's DAX, which turned negative. The US Chamber of Commerce issued a statement asking the Trump administration and the government of China to return to the negotiating table. The statement reads, and I quote, "While we share the President's frustration, we believe that continued constructive engagement is the right way forward. Time is of the essence. We do not want to see a further deterioration of US-China relations." Now, amid escalating tensions with Vietnam in the South China Sea, Beijing has asked countries to respect its sovereignty. This after Vietnamese and Australian Prime Minister raised concerns over what they called Chinese aggression in the region.
我们希望有关国家切实尊重中方主权权利和管辖权，并与中方一道来共同维护有关海域的和谐与安宁。
Earlier, Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison, who's visiting Vietnam, said that countries should respect maritime boundaries.
Secretary of the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade of the Government of Australia.
Principles that relate to freedom of navigation, freedom of overflow, ensuring that nations can pursue the development opportunities that exist within their EEZs and within their sea boundaries, and they can go about that business in a way that is uninhibited and is supported and upheld by the regional architecture and the rule of law that supports that free conduct of activity.
This comes after the Vietnamese and Chinese vessels were locked in a tense standoff in Vietnam's exclusive economic zone in the disputed South China Sea. China had deployed its survey ships to Vietnam-controlled region. Now, India has also been caught in this standoff. Hanoi said that Chinese Coast Guards interrupted operation of India's public-owned company, ONGC Videsh, in Vietnam's economic zone.